So this is the gun store that held the party to celebrate the new law, one of the most permissive now in America. This store stocks 15,000 guns. It is where a lot of people in Atlanta come to purchase their weapons, and there are now very few places that they can't openly carry those weapons. So the law is only just bedding in. There is a good deal of confusion surrounding it. For example, the library isn't sure about whether they can ask people who might come into the library with a weapon if they can see a permit. They don't know if they have the authority to do that. They don't necessarily want to put their staff in the position where they're approaching somebody with a weapon. There's also confusion over how an establishment, be it a bar or a church, can actually opt out. So there is some time for this to actually establish itself. But Masood, you are the supervisor here at the gun store. You're a gun owner yourself. You're now in one of the most gun-friendly states in America. Are you pleased about that?
I'm very pleased about that.
Tell me about this law, what you think it means for the people of Georgia. Is it a positive thing?
It is a positive thing. The main thing that it means is that you don't have to worry as much about where you can and can't carry. Like as you were mentioning, there's very few places that you can actually not carry now. Very limited in scope. As far as where you can carry, libraries, any government building that doesn't have any security measures in place, you can go to bars. The church leaders can actually decide whether their congregation can, allow whether or not they can carry. School districts are allowed to decide if employees will be able to carry. In that regard, it's a positive thing because, in my opinion, the more guns there are, the safer the general population is, because it's more of a deterrent. If if you're a criminal element and they're deciding whether or not, they're about to carry out some nefarious act, it comes down to, how safe do I feel doing that? Because they're worried about their own skin as well. And in regards to that, if the whole population has the ability to be able to carry, that the criminal element will be a lot more cautious about what they do, and thus, relieving crime. A lot of statistics show that before the cops usually get to the scene of the accident or the scene of the crime's already happened. So by this, you're enabling people to be more safe in general.
Masood, thank you. So as you would expect, the people who work here, the people who come here to buy weapons are very much in favour of this law. But there certainly are people out there, public opinion isn't totally on side with this. A lot of churches, for example, have decided to opt out. But this hasn't translated politically. Every single member voted for this law, even the Democrats, because they know that voting against any kind of gun-friendly legislation will simply lose them votes.